Today, it's finally time to cut a hole in Matcha. This is campervan update number 7, and you're getting the longest update so far. Today, we're installing our MaxxAir fan, which will give us proper ventilation inside the van. And instead of splitting this into 2 parts, I wanted to keep everything in one video just because this is literally everything we did in one day. Honestly, when we watch those roof fan installation videos, it always looks super quick and easy. But don't get me wrong, it wasn't really difficult, but there is so much small detailed work involved. So you really have to take your time and be precise. We needed wooden battens for after the cut, and yes, we were badass enough to cut them ourselves. Well, not me though, but I'll get there. We also picked up jigsaw blades for cutting metal and metal primer to protect against rust. Back in the workshop, we started by drilling holes from inside the van. These act as markers so we know exactly where to cut with the jigsaw later. And let's be honest, cutting into your own van is a bit sketchy, so we were happy to have my husband's dad helping us out. And then it was time to start cutting, and my father-in-law started, and the plan was that I would take over partway through, but the closer we got to cutting the hole free, the more the metal started to vibrate and the jigsaw shook like crazy. So yeah, I didn't get to cut this time, but I'll definitely try another time because we're also installing a roof hatch later. But instead, I got the glamorous job of standing underneath with a big piece of cardboard, catching all of the metal shavings flying everywhere and making sure the cutout didn't crash into the floor. Also, I got the honorable job of sanding the edges. I started with a small sanding tool, but I quickly realized an angle grinder was way more effective. That's when I discovered my rookie mistake. I had cleaned the metal really well with brake cleaner before taping, which meant that the tape was basically glued on, and removing it took forever. While I was fighting with the tape, my husband was cutting out our shore power inlet. That's the outlet that allows us to connect Matcha to external power when we're at a campsite or at home. We like to think that we won't stay at many campsites when we drive through Europe, but honestly, you never know. Once all the edges were sanded, we painted everything with hammerite rust protection, and we did the same with the shore power opening. Then it was finally time for sealing. Before using Sikaflex, we added butyl tape all the way around the opening, and after that we went properly in with Sikaflex 522. I feel like this is a favorite among camper builders because it's strong, flexible, and handles cold, heat, vibration, and yeah. And it also works both as a sealant and an adhesive. Suddenly the entire day was gone, but the fan was in and everything was sealed. And this is just the beginning because there's a lot more cutting coming up next. Next up is 2 huge rear windows.